What do aliens and Atlantis have to do with each other? And how does that connect to what's going to happen here in 2023 and beyond? There's a direct connection. You want to hear this? You know, I get these downloads. You don't have to believe them. But there's a lot of information in that space that you think is empty is all intelligent. You just have to get out of the way of all the blocks and barriers and this isn't that way and I'm limited, and remove the veils. I'm telling you, you can connect to anything. And I'm going to give you information today that, wow, might just be an epiphany for you. It's very exciting, actually. You ready for this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. Okay, I just want to share with you. I just want to let you know that when you go into a higher frequency, even if you experience the pain, you know, I teach breakthrough fear, breakthrough. We accept the fact that we feel pain, we feel sadness, we feel loss. We experience fear. It doesn't control us anymore. And we go into, if you're in any of my courses, come on over, we laugh at things that people would be horrified at. We find it hysterical because we have this knowing. This is what we're going to talk about today. There's a knowing that this is an illusion and none of this has to take place. No suffering ever has to take place. And so when you watch this stuff, it can be painful because when you know that you're fully in control of manifesting anything and that you are controlling your reality, that these people are choosing it and that it hurts and we don't want to see anybody in pain. Well, I want to share something with you because this new era that we're going into called the Great Awakening, the New Earth, whatever you want to call it, labels are irrelevant. We're going into consciousness, but that doesn't mean everyone will. We have individual choice, and we seem to think, many people think, that we go into this, or we get saved, or we ascend. It's an individual journey because every probability exists all at one time, and it doesn't have to be the same for everybody. Some will experience that, but that's by choice and entanglement. All choice and free will. We're going to talk about Atlantis because there's something happening right now that's very much mimicking what has happened in the past. Atlantis was misuse of powers and technology. That didn't just show up. That technology and the powers were part of what existed here through extraterrestrial visitations and presence here, which was not a threat to them. It was part of their life, a way of life. Extraterrestrials have been on this planet forever. I believe, personally, that we are a part of them. Of course, everything is. Nothing stands alone. There aren't like humans and we have no connection to that out there. The one created everything. Therefore, we all come from the source of one, which means we're all related. We're all illusion anyways, all experiencing different things. It's pretty cool because you could be one of those ETs on another planet, much more advanced, not going through the pain and suffering we are. But here's what's happening on our planet. Because we're shifting into a higher frequency, and we got a long way to go, by the way, long way, because we're still, even those in the spiritual, frequency, still separate themselves. Oh, what about my family? I want them to awaken. There's no acceptance that they're on their own journey. They're equal to you. They have equal powers. Nobody gets left behind. And that they're going through whatever, and it's sort of like, cool. You decided to go in the dark forest where there's potholes and snakes and things that, eat you. All right, I'm done with that. I went through the forest and now I'm over here in the beautiful fields, and then you just see it as that. When you go to awakened state, a true awakened state, you stop going, oh, we have to pull them out. No, they have to go through it to know it. It's like, whew, I made it through. Wow, and they might get eaten up and have to come back and go through it again. That's all we're doing. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just transforms. And then it has never been created. can never be destroyed means that you're just going to keep going through whatever you want to learn, and if that illusion dissolves, you come back in another illusion, because the essence of you is not that. That's just the container that you choose and the experience. You know, it's just the Pac-Man game that you play, or Donkey Kong, or whatever. You can tell I come from an old era. The old days when the real good games were out there. So Atlantis, much more advanced, were not threatened by alien presence and the technology that was shared, or the things that they learned. And they learned and accepted, like we can right now, that we hold all the power. We have 100% free will on this planet, and Atlantis was on Earth. So they knew that as individuals, they were allowed to do anything, including destroy themselves. It's allowed. All right, nobody's going to step in and stop that. Now, we might get intervention here, because if we use nuclear weapons and it destroys the planet and the metaverse is affected, they may step in and shut that down, because not only will it affect us, and our choices are going to unconsciously affect other beings out there that people don't even believe in. Because there's a good percentage still in ignorance and unconsciousness that don't even believe that that's possible. So there's no repercussions for them. It's like just, ego state. Well, now here's where Atlantis comes in. So they go to this high frequency. They go into high spiritual, existence. However, because they were here on planet Earth, part of the game is low density. Being in bodies takes our vibration way down. In order to be in a physical, heavy, dense body, we have to go in and, we're contained in this heavy thing. And so we have to change our frequency to experience this, which means it's still a part of our energy field here as human beings. And that was the same for them. So even though they're aware of their power, and they went into this quantum space where they were like manifesting and using thought powers for everything, and boom, 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 the ego was kicking. This is where power becomes, even for spiritual people, can become dangerous, because the ego can kick in and go, wow, like I have superpowers, and I can do these things, or I can, I know I can predict futures, and I can see. And so depending on the personal journey, the ego is always going to be involved. That's why you go to psychics, their interpretation is always going to be going through the filter of their own personality, their own beliefs, their own thoughts. That's why remote viewers, they had to stop looking into the future, because the personal beliefs of that person who was looking into the future affected what they were saying they saw. In other words, they're just picking a probability that exists according to them, which means we can pick that too. It doesn't mean that, so if they say it, it's going to happen. No. If they filter it through their own belief, just like near-death experiences, people go over to the other side and they experience what they believe in. So if somebody sees Jesus, somebody sees Allah or whatever, it's because they're still bringing those belief systems there. And the future is no different. So whatever you think and believe about the future, your actual ego and this energy field and beliefs actually affect and project and create that. So Atlantis still had to deal with ego. So when they went into this high power, they realized they could manipulate others for their own personal gain. And so the ego kicked in. Yep, ego kicked in. And so it started to create conflict, and then it went into a state of self-destruction using some high-powered, not weapons, but gifts, let's say, crystals and power and technology that we don't even have today. This is why extraterrestrials have not given us stuff, and the stuff that they have shared with us, because we do have some of their technology here, we've misused. We keep it a secret. Oh, no, we haven't, there's been no ETs here. Oh, what are you talking about? Why? Because they want to hoard things and use it for themselves, their own country or their own governments, for things that are negative toward others. They don't want to share it with the world. You have egos kicking in, and then they lie to everybody about it. Well, ETs know this. So they are like so over sharing anything that's going to help us destroy ourselves or others. So they've held back and made their presence known. I'm not saying that some of that is stuff that still isn't going on with various ETs, but not on the level it did before, because Atlantis was the demonstration that this is being misused when it goes to that super high frequency. Now, we don't have to go to that space, but you and I, as a collective, we are not ready for that stuff. It will be misused because I still see people opposing one another. Spiritual people. I still see spiritual people. Well, that's a name that we call ourselves. Spiritual people going on channels that are fear-based and not understanding. I completely control my future, and through my beliefs, I'm affecting everybody. Just like any technology, we have to be responsible citizens. We're not responsible citizens yet. So we have to go into that high frequency without all the fancy stuff. Because if I gave you the fancy stuff, you'd go, pff, pff, I have to sit and meditate and do this stuff when I can just use this and get the, the fancy car and stuff. And then, oh, that feels good, and that feels good. And then pretty soon, we go back into ground zero again with our spirituality. So there's a very different pathway we're going on right now. We will not be given these gifts of power because we have to earn it on a high frequency, and that's still not a guarantee that we're not going to go down the same path as Atlantis. All right, we might just do the same stupid stuff, and then we'll just have to come back and figure it out again. I think we're in a position to do it the right way this time. It's going to take much longer, probably not in my lifetime, but I think we're going to see some major stuff. We will see extraterrestrials more present here, because they are making themselves known to us so that we get used to the fact that they're here and that they are not going to destroy us, because obviously they could have by now. They're visiting us. Yes, people do get abducted, but then don't we do that to animals that we're trying to save? And then we test them and they go, ah! And then we tag them and then we put them back. Right? We do that. Well, no, we're saving species. Well, that's all they're trying to do too, because, the yin-yangs down there on planet Earth are going to blow themselves up. We better get this in check, because if that happens, that species will be gone. And they think this is a bad thing because they're in ignorance. They can't even imagine that we're trying to do some good things here, because we're just not on that level yet. Now, there are a lot of abductees who actually do know that they are amazing. And when they get past fear, it's like anything right now. I could ask you, what's happening in your life, and you could give me this horrible story about what a horrible life you have. And then somebody in a high level spiritually will say, no, I've had the most amazing challenges. I learned, I became a better person. It was painful, but I mastered it. That's what I came here to do, is evolve spiritually past that. Gifts and challenges accelerated me, my growth, and I went into consciousness because of it. So two completely different viewpoints on what's happening, right? And so same thing with the abductees. If they're still in unconsciousness, even though they did make agreements in advance to participate to help the planet, these people are helping our planet because they are using that to upgrade our DNA and us as a species. Even after we as energy fields are gone out of these bodies, we may come back into those newer, new and improved forms. It's part of the game. So it's just an interpretation. It's not evil. It's not bad. If it were, they wouldn't put us back. They'd just throw us away like garbage. They don't. In fact, they try to make sure we can't remember. But of course, that's not always guaranteed every time. Listen, I'm not on board for that program. I'm here for a different mission. But God bless those who do. That is sort of amazing. And I have to tell you, I'm very excited about our future. I'm very excited for the challenges we're going to get, which are going to be numerous. And I'm very excited because I predict we're going to start to respond differently, come together as community, and start to say, you know what, this is the challenge. Here we go. Buckle up. How are we going to handle this? It's all about a response. It's about how we treat one another. It's about love, compassion, giving, oneness. That's all it is. Don't overcomplicate this. Come on over and get my free videos. Guess what? Manifest anything. free videos, and I give you all kinds of free stuff. Activate Your Magic is now out. If you sign up, you'll get information about that. It is advanced manifesting, but we do it on a high frequency. Never, ever, like Atlantis, manifest on a low frequency. You blow yourselves up that way. I teach how to go into that high frequency space where you don't even have to place a request, a directive out in the quantum field. You are the quantum field. You and it are one, so it knows what you want at all times, and you are the creator, so stuff just shows up. I help you to get away and step away from the craziness and remove yourself from your own illusion and veils. I help you to step away from the blocks and barriers. Breakthrough fear, you guys know this. I have a free master class, 4 proven steps. It's an hour. So take the time to watch that. And you'll have a chance, a discovery call with me if you decide you want to take it to the next level. That is a lifelong course. And my students have had amazing results. 5 stars across the board. I've never had anybody not give me a 5-star. And why am I doing this? This is my mission. I love it. I'm passionate about it. It's fun. And I'll never look back. I'm never going to stop doing this. I'm going to do this till I take my last breath on this planet. I don't know when that's going to be. You know, I'll decide when I'm, done here. But I think I've got a lot more work to do, and so do you. So don't you dare give up on me. You are so important. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. Don't underestimate the bum on the street, the drug addict, the people that you look down on. Our best teachers. Might be an angel walking around. Our best teachers, our master teachers. Love them anyways. Why? They're equal to us. They're beautiful. These are the people that challenge us to be great. Are you ready for it? You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. We talk more about this really cool stuff. New era. I know you're ready for it. Namaste.